Fox News host Laura Ingraham did a segment on her show that it's going to give you a good giggle, I got to tell you, because she attempts to give tips to Trump about what he should do to win the 2024 election, and just says all the things that he would 100% absolutely would never do, because they're trying to move him somewhat more in the reasonable direction, which is not the direction he's headed. And just take a look, and then we'll discuss kind of what this is representative of, which is also really fascinating, but little part of this monologue.
So I'd suggest talk less about yourself, more about the American people. You met a lot of them. Voters don't want a replay of the greatest hits about Mueller or Adam Schiff, but they do want you to assemble the most talented advisors, and probably best to treat them well. Surround yourself with givers, not takers. Serious policy people who know how to hit the ground running on day one. No more travel ban fiascos. Run a tight ship. And run against the Democrats, not the media. We all know the press is biased, newsflash. Don't dwell on it. Deal with it. And maybe, just maybe, drop the nicknames and the petty personal stuff. It was funny in 2016 and even in 2020, but I don't think it works with how serious the challenges are right now facing the country.
Are you seriously saying things weren't serious enough in 2020 when he was mismanaging a pandemic, but they are serious enough now for him not to do the nicknames?
I sense that the voters are weary of all of that stuff. So debate your opponents on the merits. You know the issues. You have a great record. Defend it.
And of course, he does not have a great record. So she just pretty much walks through all the things that make Trump Trump and says, hey, don't do that. Which, yeah, I wish he wouldn't do the Trump stuff too, but that's just him. And then what this is so representative of is the broader kind of, not even Republican establishment, but a lot within the Republican movement, a lot of people within the Republican movement who are getting afraid of the monster they've created and are no longer wanting to have to deal with this radical part of their own party. And Laura Ingraham recognizes, even though she helped to create this, that this type of Republican Party will not do well in national elections. And it is very politically toxic to have this election denying type ideology within a movement, to be just so detached from reality on so many fronts, and to broadcast that in so many ways, and to just be so profoundly radical in so many ways. That's not something that the broader American public can get on board with. Now, a lot of it unfortunately will, but not enough of it to have a consistent series of wins by any stretch of the imagination for the GOP. And we saw that in the midterms. Part of why they didn't do as well as expected was the radical MAGA part of the party. And so what she's saying is, like, moderate yourself a little bit. Don't talk about the election being stolen so much. Don't scream fake news so much. Don't talk about Meatball Ron and Tiny D or whatever. And those are the things that make this movement like Trump, right? And then the election denying specifically is what defines this current movement, at least one of the elements of it, in how radical it really is. And so at some point, those who now within the Republican Party are wishing it would be more moderate, and the Laura Ingrahams who are wishing the same and trying to urge for that, need to do some introspection and realize they helped to create this. The lies, one step at a time, that Laura Ingraham allowed herself to perpetuate on air, the assisting in that detachment from reality that Fox News was doing the entire time, the bolstering of Trump himself and his lies, is what got you here. Now Trump can't let go of that. That's what his base loves, and that's what he loves. And so now you've caused your own party to be politically toxic and not be able to do really well in a midterm where the president is of the other party and they have low poll numbers and there's inflation, and still you can't do very well in a midterm, which is everything in your favor because of how unhinged your party has gotten. And so now this driving force of the GOP, while there's, as I talk about often, moderate members of the Republican Party. There really are many Republican voters who are so annoyed that the Republican Party has gotten so radical. The driving force, that heartbeat, is now the Marjorie Greens. It really is. It's the Trumps. And that's going to be around for a while. Maybe not those individual figures as prominent members, but that ideology, the Trumpism ideology, if nothing else, not even to cite the election night, just the ability to detach oneself and one's movement from reality in such a massive way, that's going to be a part of the Republican Party for a long time. And that's going to hurt them politically for a long time, hopefully. And it's going to be Laura Ingraham. Okay, I'm back. Things glitched out and cut out for a second there. It's going to be, as I was saying, Laura Ingraham and so many others who are begging the Republican Party to come back and be something that can be politically viable in the long term. And it's you made the bed, now you have to sleep in it type situation. But it's unfortunate for the country for sure, because they'll get enough power to do a whole lot of damage in the meantime. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the extra bonus show on Saturdays, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. Link in the description.